Crafting has been one of the latest popular topics, ever since they gave us some insight to the future plans of crafting. There are those who like it, and many of its elements, while also those who dislike it or at least certain parts of it. Overall, I think it is good that we can build our own base and craft most of the items needed. I do have some concerns about tier levels, but it is rather acceptable for base buildings or defenses of any kind to have different levels of quality and effectiveness. The concern is more towards the weapons, the modules, the ships, and everything else affecting the game balance. We saw a few small examples of what the stat improvements can be. For example, tier 1 weapon upgrades compared to tier 2, or even better materials used in crafting items. I am certain that nearly no one has issues with stats like weapon integrity, wear resistance, or misfire chance being improved, or other stats which have a lesser effect on weapons balance. In their example, we can notice an improvement on stats like fire rate and bullet velocity. These kinds of stats can be very vital in any competitive game. They are more than 10% improvements on both of the stats, considering it is a rapid firing weapon. The high rate of fire can be very significant in any scenario. There are going to be other improvements to stats like damage or stability. So there are the craftable tiers of weapons, while also materials which will affect them onwards. One of the notable things, of course, is how many stats will we be able to improve, as the better materials and tier levels are supposed to allow crafting better items with better stats. I don't think it would be a problem if crafting a tier 3 weapon with limited stat improvement, but it will be concerning if we can improve all the stats and make something really powerful, improving all the stats by 20% or more and adding other benefits like recoil and damage. Personally, I would like some of these stats to be affected by different type of ammo used rather than the weapons crafted or materials used. It seems very possible that the weapon tier and quality difference won't be massive and could actually create a strong market for the weapon producers and weapon vendors. That is, if the weapons crafted with highest quality and highest tier won't exceed the default weapons and their stats by more than 20 to 30%. The more I think about it, the problematic part is going to be the craftable ships, which are supposed to have 5 tier levels. Even if there was not much shown regarding this difference, it will be much more important as the ships we are using are the core of this game. We use our ships in every action of the game, from travel to combat. It is actually very good that they will allow us crafting of ships. The question is, how much of a difference is there going to be between a tier 1 and a tier 5 of the same ship type? Are we going to see a highly mobile ship turned into a hypermobile ship, or a light ship turned into a really durable ship? Once again, specific upgrades on a reasonable level would be fine, but it is more likely to be lots of stat changes which will alter the dynamic of the ship. And if we can go by the same crafting levels and the materials used in crafting weapons, which they showed us, a crafted tier 5 ship could have up to 50% better stats of certain type. Now, of course, that might be an exaggeration and probably is, but even 25% of stat changes is quite massive on a ship. And just to add a bit more fuel to the fire, we will be able to craft ship components of different levels, we will be able to craft ship's weapons of different levels, and on top of that, the different level of ship. Perhaps the stats should be managed more with modules and weapons rather than the ship itself. I think the different levels of ships are fine as long as the stats improved of tiers and materials used add to durability and health, rather than other types of performance. It also seems very likely, in the way of making money with new ships, they are shooting themselves a bit in the leg. I'm not saying I support their ship sales and all of that, but I also think every change like this should be done in moderation rather than massively altering items with materials and tier levels. Not to mention the engineering tuning of modules, which might add another layer to this. I like what they are trying to do, but I also hope they won't go overboard with these ideas, as it seems to grow a bit too fast and a bit too big. as the biggest organizations might have the best of ships and weapons, which others might not be able to compete with, and if that gap between ships, armors and weapons will be notable, this will probably create a massive market with real money just to get the best of items, and I am pretty sure this might get out of control really fast. They will try to give us more initiative for PvP part of the game, and that is where the item differences will matter the most. In a way, I would like to think it would be a quality versus quantity issue, but it will probably end up being a massive quality issue, as big organizations, they have a lot of people, a lot of resources. Get everybody something decent, something good, and you might already dominate. It just seems that the focus with all of this is on really, really big organizations. The more I think about it, the more uncertain I am about the high-level crafted items. Maybe I missed something, maybe I am wrong. Feel free to share your thoughts. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.